All right, hey everybody, how are you doing? 10:16 to be exact, right now. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. It's been a great week. I mean, we started off a little cool. Weather's been great all week long. Just checking in, trying to pull up all your comments here so we can have a quick little chat. Charlotte, I see you checking in, saying nice. I agree. Look at all those places. Where would you want to be right now? Downtown Tampa, not bad. Looking good. Got some beachgoers out there at St. Pete Beach. Maybe the airport. Maybe you guys are getting ready to head off somewhere for the weekend. Got a trip planned, something. Clearwater Beach looks really nice too. A lot of people out on the beach already. Clearwater Beach, downtown Tampa. The view from Armature Works there at the Riverwalk. I believe today they're supposed to announce there was this contest for who had the best Riverwalk, and I believe they're making that announcement today. Tampa was one of the finalists, or Tampa's Riverwalk was one of the finalists for the best Riverwalk. So we'll see if Tampa gets the title as having the best Riverwalk today. And then of course downtown Lakeland looking really nice over there too. I mean, just a couple of scattered clouds across the area. So where are you guys watching from today? Checking in from Tampa Bay, watching in around the country. Got some nasty weather moving through some parts of the country today. So if you're watching from the Northeast or maybe the Plain states, Midwestern states, I'm sure you're over winter at this point, right? You start getting into late February and early March, and you're like, yeah, this thing's getting old. You're ready for the warmer temperatures, but we have certainly had a lot of those warmer temperatures here across Tampa Bay recently, but hard to complain when you got beautiful weather like we have out there right now. One thing that's going on today, again, is the Florida State Fair. In fact, Chief Meteorologist Bobby Destos is going to be out there at the fair later this afternoon for our evening newscast beginning at 5 o'clock, so he'll be out there. Gates opened at 10 o'clock this morning. On Fridays, the midway, the games, and the rides open up at 10:30. But it's looking like really nice weather today. We'll see a few more clouds start to roll in through the afternoon hours. It gets a little breezy as well, so going up on that Ferris wheel could be a little breezy, but nothing crazy. Just some wind gusts, probably up around 20 miles per hour or something like that. But the one thing that we're watching today is that small chance of rain. I'll show you the radar and the futurecast in just a second, but there is a 20% chance of rain later on tonight. One quick note, we started to have this conversation here in the weather department, and immediately, if you were just to look at Tampa Bay, the immediate Tampa Bay area, and you kind of see, aside from northern Citrus County up here, but most of the Tampa Bay area is not really even considering the threat for drought at this point. Everything is kind of okay, but I've seen a couple of you comment about this on social media, just talking about how your yard needs a little bit of rain. And the data is starting to suggest that we could see a building concern for some drought across the region. If you just look at the percentages from this week compared to last week, we get these drought monitors. They come out once a week. They come out on Thursday, but really they come out on Thursday. They're data from the week before, so there's always a little bit of a lag in this data. But one thing of note here is how the moderate drought is a little bit higher than it was last week. Now, also, the severe drought isn't as bad as it was last week, but we are seeing that moderate drought. 30% of Florida are now considered to be in a moderate drought. So that really is the extreme northern part of the Florida Peninsula into the Jacksonville area, and then a little swath down through the Fort Myers area, which it's hard to think that they're in a drought because of the fact that they had Ian come through last September, but still, the dry season has been exceptionally dry this year, or at least this season. And just looking at some of the numbers for the year, I know we're only like a month and a half into 2023, but already we've only picked up about 2 inches of rain in Tampa. So that would be, the normal is more than 4 inches. So we need rain. We're running about 2.25, 2.28 inches in the deficit for the year. So we need some rain. The problem is this time of year, you just don't expect to get a lot of rain because obviously we're in the dry season. But when you're looking at dry season compounded by the fact that we're looking at abnormally dry conditions, and warmer than normal temperatures, all of those things start to come together to produce the recipe for not just a drought, but maybe a little bit more of an enhanced fire season. The precipitation outlook over the next couple of weeks is just well below, or at least greater than normal chances of seeing those below normal amounts of precipitation. So drier than normal conditions expected through much of the Florida Peninsula into the first week in March. So we'll be watching those conditions, especially when you start seeing some cold fronts come through that are really just drying up before the rain is able to come here. You're looking at probably several weeks of dealing with, just increasingly dry conditions. And obviously you look out right now, I mean, it's pretty, yes, but obviously not a great chance of rain. I mean, dew points are in the upper 60s. It's humid. There's just not a lot of energy to drive these showers that we could see later on today. 74, not bad though, with sunshine in Tampa Bay. 71 in St. Pete. And we've got actually near 80 degrees in Zephyr Hills right now. Let me take you out on the satellite and radar. See, the wind speeds are generally out of the south and southwest today, so it's a warm flow. There's a fair amount of moisture with those dew points near 70, so I think as those temperatures really start to climb into the upper 70s to near 80 degrees this afternoon, you'll start to feel that humidity. And here's our storm system that's going to bring us at least a chance of rain today. The one thing with this is the storm track, that low pressure system, is still well up to the north. And when you have the parent low pressure system just so far removed from the cold front that's going to be moving through here, there's just not a lot of energy, there's not a lot of lift in the atmosphere to produce those showers that would ultimately bring us some rain. So the storm track, it looks like it just continues to do this kind of thing. More and more of these storms will dive down and out of the Pacific Northwest, they sink down, and they're going to shoot up to the northeast. And that's why we likely see a continuation of these drier than normal conditions. Even though we may see a couple of cold fronts come through, it's just not going to bring us great chances of rain. Here's the futurecast for this specific cold front that we'll see come through tonight. No worries for rain, hardly at all, but through the day today. But as we march our way through around 5, 6, we might start to see a couple of isolated showers through sunset time, and then through the first half of the overnight. A lot of that rain really has a hard time making it south of I-4. I think at Tampa, St. Pete, 20% chance of rain. I think Sarasota, Venice, you're talking like a 5 to 10% chance of getting a sprinkle. And even if you do get rain, obviously that little bit of rainfall is not going to do anything for any sort of attempt to improve the drought conditions. So no hope there. But it will usher in some cooler air that we'll see arrive through tomorrow morning. So whereas the last couple of mornings we've had lows in the 60s, tomorrow morning we'll all be in the 50s, if not the 40s. You see right there, you got 48 degrees in Crystal River. So Crystal River will be a little bit cooler, as it typically is, but not a huge cool down. And then tomorrow afternoon looks really nice. Partly cloudy, mostly sunny skies, maybe a little more cloud cover south, but mid-70s out there for this weekend. I see Sharon saying it's Daytona weekend. Of course. Well, when's Daytona? Let me look that up real quick. That was completely off of my radar. When is Daytona? Daytona 500. Let's see here. The Daytona 500, Sunday, February 19th. Well, it should be good weather for Daytona 500. Looks like great weather. Perfect weather. That's why you have Daytona in Florida in February, right? So even though there'll be, it looks like, should be nice weather. Temperatures probably in the 70s out there. It'll be really nice. So that is good news. Even though that cold front does come in, no impacts. Let's go back. I'm sure there's a lot of events going on up there in Daytona today, but even let's see. I mean, through this evening, Daytona has like a 20% chance of rain too, so it's minimal with that chance of rain. Otherwise, I mean, the rest of the weekend, let me take you into that weekend forecast. 74 tomorrow, a little breezy tomorrow afternoon, and then looks like temperatures are climbing back up to near 80 on Sunday with mostly sunny skies. So a beautiful weekend out there. Nice, cool, and refreshing conditions in the morning, and then nice, sunny, warm afternoons. looking ahead in the 7-day forecast through next week, it's really more of the same. Every day is a little different, maybe a little bit breezy, warmer on Wednesday, but a lot of sunshine, temperature staying above normal. Our normal high temperature is 74 degrees, so we've been spoiled recently with these unseasonably warm temperatures. I say spoiled, probably not the right word. We've been a little bit misguided, I'll say, with the warmth that we've had over the last couple of weeks. A couple of cool downs, but overall, the first start of 2023 has been unseasonably warm, so pretty warm stuff. And it looks like that continues with the warm and dry conditions expected through February, probably into at least the first half of March. There's really no indication that anytime soon we're going to break the pattern where we're going to be seeing cooler than normal conditions. So that's just the way that it looks like it's going. David saying, what is the allergy forecast? I'm glad you asked that. I did mean to show that. Let me pull that up here. I've got it right here. So kind of what you would expect, nothing crazy at this point. We're still on the front end of the tree pollen season. Medium to high pollen counts. It looks like tomorrow could be a little bit higher pollen counts, just with the breezier conditions. Anytime you see a couple of days that might be breezy at this time of year, the breeze tends to blow some of the pollen around a little bit more. So it looks like we could have high pollen counts on Saturday. Honestly, those medium to high concentrations are very close to high concentrations. So we're running into that season where the pollen is probably going to be a factor, maybe impacting your allergies. Right now it's the trees, and the tree pollen stays up pretty high through late March into early April. As the tree pollen begins to subside, that's when we start to get into the rainy season, right into May. And the rainy season, you know, if you've got a yard, got grass, the grass really begins to grow a lot. So the grass pollen starts to really ramp up as you get into May, June, and July, and really through the summer months. And then just as the grass starts to recede and the pollen from the grass isn't as high, then the ragweed comes in. So the ragweed is more of a fall allergy that we see here in Tampa Bay. And the ragweed is probably the second bad season. Tree pollen season's the worst. And that's when a lot of us deal with those allergy symptoms, and you're popping the Zyrtec or whatever it is for a while. And then the ragweed really ramps up. But I say early March is when the pollen really starts to hit hard in the tree department. There's some people here at the station that have been feeling the pollen and the allergies for the last couple of weeks, but I think the general population starts to really take a hit from that tree pollen late February, early March. So we'll probably start to see more of those high days with the allergies than the medium to high days. So that's where the pollen sits right now. But I mean, I guess at least one way that you can escape the pollen here, and places across the country, other places really can't do this. If you live near the water, you go by the water, and those winds come in out of the west. Remember, there's no trees out over the water, right? So you can go to the beach and you can be completely rid of those allergy symptoms. So westerly wind, go to the beach, you'll get a break from the allergies, you'll get a great break from the pollen, and you'll be fine. And you'll be amazed at how quickly, for better or for worse, that when you go back away from the beach and you go back, maybe a half mile inland or something like that, all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, my eyes. It's amazing how quickly that happens. In fact, for the Sunshine Skyway Bridge, or the Skyway 10K race that we're a sponsor for, my wife, she suffers from allergies, and every year when she runs the race, she says, it's amazing how good I feel going across the bridge, because all directions, there's no, whatever the wind direction is, when you're going over the skyway, there's no trees, so there's nothing to blow that pollen into your lungs, your nose, your eyes. And so she says she feels great, but the second she gets back to the trop, after the buses come back and drop her back off, she's feeling it again. It's just like that. It's crazy how our bodies are just so sensitive to some things, and that tree pollen is one of those things that we're sensitive to, isn't it? So anyway, guys, great catching up with you. Have a great Friday. Enjoy this great weather. I talk about how dry it is, but we all know, look, the rainy season will come back, and it'll rain again, and it'll also be humid again. So let's enjoy this nice weather, even though today is a little bit more humid than normal, but I mean, still nothing like what you get during the summer heat and humidity here in West Central Florida. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Have a great Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Take it easy. Enjoy those cooler days. Let those windows open up a little bit. Let some of that fresh breeze come in tomorrow. It should be good. And then we'll touch base with you guys sometime next week. Take care. Stay safe. And